Hi, I'm Dr. Kim. Welcome to my channel. Over the course of my career, I have helped over 4,000 clients get out of pain. I help you heal your pain for good without having to spend thousands of dollars on treatments, drugs, or even surgery. In this video, I just wanted to come on here and have a chat to you guys. I want to let you know how I got into this back pain world, my personal journey, and why I decided to become an online back pain coach. My story starts when I was 16 years old. I was living in Perth, Australia. This is where I grew up, and I was a semi-professional and very competitive dancer. I did jazz, ballet, tap, contemporary, hip hop, basically everything, and I would compete a lot. I think I was dancing around 5 to 6 days of the week. I remember one of my favorite tricks to do is I could put my leg all the way up to my ear, standing up, and I could hold it there without any hands. And this became my thing, and I was made to do it again and again and again, which of course led to injury. So from a very early age, I did have problems with my hips and lower back. My mum would take me to the physio fairly regularly. I think I was seeing the physio twice a week, and then down to once a week, and then every fortnight or so for many, many months, just to maintain my body and keep me out of pain. Now we're going to fast forward many years later. So I went to university to become a doctor of chiropractic. For those of you who don't know, it is a 5-year degree, and I did my studies in Perth, Australia as well. I then spent 5 wonderful years in clinical practice as a holistic chiropractor. I worked at a very, very busy practice, and I used to see 30 clients every single shift, and the toll that it took on me emotionally and physically was actually extremely large now I look back on it. Now, I remember this next moment like it was yesterday. I was doing a workout. I was on my back, and I was doing single leg glute bridges, and I had a big dumbbell on my pelvis. And I remember I went up to thrust, and I felt my low back go. I felt this searing pain shoot across my low back. I immediately dropped to the floor, pushed the weight off me, and found that I was almost paralyzed in this position. I couldn't move off the floor. And my partner at the time had to help me up into a sitting position. And from there, I could tell that I had done something really, really bad to my body. The pain only got worse over the next few days. To my dismay, I found that I couldn't do simple things like stand up from sitting. I couldn't walk upright. I had to walk in this kind of bent over position. I couldn't sleep through the whole night because the pain would wake me up every time I rolled over. Going to the toilet and wiping was also kind of out of the question. I also couldn't drive by myself either. And of course, I couldn't work. Now, after a few days, I did feel okay enough to ride in a car. So I had someone drive me down to the chiropractic clinic I was working at. Over the next 2 weeks, the other doctors adjusted me every second day. So I basically had 6 to 7 adjustments within 2 weeks. And I feel like this really, really helped my recovery. If I did not have chiropractic, I probably would have been stuck with the pain for much, much longer. I would say that the pain went away after about 3 weeks. However, my back was never really the same ever again. Over the next year, I was able to maintain my freedom of movement with regular chiropractic adjustments. So I was receiving an adjustment from one of the other doctors every 2 weeks, and that seemed to keep me out of pain until I had a massive life change. I quit my job, sold all of my possessions, packed everything I owned into one suitcase, and I left Australia for good to become a digital nomad. This is a story for another day, but this had basically been my dream for many, many years. And as much as I loved being a chiropractor, it just felt like there was something missing and that I really needed to do this for myself. I spent the next year of my life traveling all over the world. However, there was one problem. I could not keep up with regular chiropractic adjustments. And 6 months into my trip, I found myself in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and my back went out again. It was the exact same pain that I had experienced in Australia a year ago. The first thing I did was try to Google chiropractors in this city. I found that chiropractic does not exist here. So I tried the next best thing, which was the only osteopathic clinic in the entire city. I went to the osteopath several times, felt a little bit better, and then 2 weeks later, the pain would come back again. Over the next few months, I saw basically every practitioner in Chiang Mai. So I tried osteo, Chinese medicine, acupuncture, cupping, massage, even energy healing, and nothing was able to make a lasting change. After seeing each practitioner, I would feel a slight improvement in my back pain, but like clockwork, a few weeks later, the pain would just creep back in. I got stuck in this pain cycle where it would get better and then it would relapse, get better and then it would relapse. And to my dismay, the pain seemed to get worse every time I had an episode. And the time period in between episodes also got shorter and shorter and shorter. Now, if you ask, what was I doing that was causing the pain? Honestly, it was the smallest things. I remember one day I got out of bed and bang, that was enough to trigger the pain. It got to the point where I became so fearful of living my life. I have always loved dance. It is my passion and my joy. And I had to quit because of my back pain. I stopped saying yes to social gatherings because I was scared that I would hurt my back. I remember a few months later, I was traveling Bali as part of my digital nomad journey, and I was riding on the back of a scooter. He went over a bump in the road and bang, my back went out again. And I remember crying in bed that night because the next day I had to carry my suitcase onto a boat. And it was the kind of boat where you had to walk out into the ocean, climb up the stairs whilst the boat is rocking with your suitcase. And I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to do it. I had so much fear and stress in my life due to this back pain. And it was so frustrating because it's not like I was doing nothing about it. I was trying. I was seeing all of these practitioners, but unfortunately, nothing worked. A few months later, I found myself back in Thailand. I had again injured my back. And as you do, I was Googling around like movements for low back pain. And I came across something called somatic movement. Now, I hadn't heard of this before, but I'm the kind of person who is willing to give anything and everything a chance. So I purchased a course and I went through the entire thing. On the first day of practicing some of these movements, I remember thinking, this feels really different to anything else I've tried before. I feel a bit different. My pain didn't go away, but I could tell that there was something special about these movements. I could feel that they didn't just work on my body physically, but I also felt the mental, emotional effects of it as well. I felt calmer. I felt more relaxed, and it was sort of like my stress had been released through my body and through these movements. I wanted to learn more, so I purchased some more courses. Now, I have to say that the quality of the courses varied greatly, And a lot of the movements were not actually targeted to my problem. So thank goodness I had so many years of anatomy and chiropractic knowledge that I had a pretty good idea of what was going on in my body. So I was able to take certain movements from each of the courses. What I did was I created myself my own program. It took me about 3 months of researching all of these different courses to create my program that I told myself I would commit to. I said I was going to commit to 15 minutes of somatic movement every single night, and I was going to see whether it made a difference. To my surprise, it did. 2 weeks went by with no painful episodes. Then a month went by, and then 2 months, and 3 months. And all of a sudden, it had been 3 years, and I had not had any more pain in my low back. I was able to go back to the gym. I was able to start lifting weights again. And most importantly, I was able to be social and go back to dance. Slowly and gradually, I got my life back. And now I live in a place where I feel like my back is so strong, it's basically bulletproof. I can do any activity I want, ride on motorbikes, dance intensely, lift really heavy at the gym, and nothing happens to my back because I have rehabilitated it so thoroughly and completely. And may I remind you that I only did 10 to 15 minutes of movement every night. It was not hard. Once it hit 3 years of no pain and full mobility and freedom, that's when I had the urge to take my program to the world. Not a day goes by where I think of everyone else in the world who is suffering from chronic low back pain just as I did. It is actually the #1 most common disability in the entire world. I think of all of the people who must feel so frustrated, anxious, and depressed about having to live in pain every single day. I think of all of those people who are depending on painkillers, who are getting injections from the doctor, who are constantly having to go and see practitioners for maintenance visits time and time again, and spending all of this money and energy into these external measures. And may I remind you that these external measures do not provide lasting results. In a lot of cases, they focus on treating the symptoms rather than the root cause of your pain. And that is why the pain continues to come back over and over again. I created a blueprint to heal back pain from home. Through my experience coaching clients online, I have to say that the blueprint is not a one-size-fits-all approach. Actually, nothing is. The program does need to be customized to accommodate for your specific problem, your lifestyle, and your needs. So that's why I prefer to work with my clients one-on-one, because everybody is very different, and this way you get a customized, personalized approach to help you heal and get to your goals faster. Out of all of the work I've done in my entire life, this is really the most meaningful to me. Yes, I did love being a chiropractor, but now I look back on it and I can see that it wasn't really aligned with my beliefs and values. Most of us chiropractors go through a training process where we are taught specifically what to say to the client, and essentially we are trying to get you to depend on us, not only to heal your pain, but to rely on us for the rest of your life, to keep coming back in for maintenance visits, hopefully really for the rest of your life. That is the business model of a wellness chiropractor. And I don't want to bash it. It definitely works. It worked for me. It worked for thousands of clients that I saw in practice. However, it is a luxury treatment. Not everybody can afford to see a chiropractor for the rest of their lives. The first month of care, where you have to come in very frequently, that's already, like $800 to $1,000 US just for the first month. And Once you get a client convinced and hooked that it works, you really rely on them coming in for the rest of your life so that you can make the dollars. What I do now is completely different. I teach you the tools that you need in order to heal yourself and to keep you good for the rest of your life. So that means you do not need to keep booking sessions with me. My average client will be with me for 3 to 4 months, depending on how long they've had the pain for. And after that, I graduate them from care and I say, I have taught you all there is to know. You're out of pain now and you know enough to manage it by yourself. And that to me is gold. I get to pass on my knowledge to others to keep them healthy and well. And this, I believe, is the future of healthcare. We are all going to become self-healers, and I am so honored to be a part of this movement. And that is my story. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got to know a little bit more about me. I will be posting YouTube videos every week, so please subscribe if you want to see more. Bye.